probably have a settled contempt for mathematics and a belief in all kinds of wild systems. He will wear his pockets out with mascots and irritate every hunchback in the neighborhood by his assiduity. Another danger with which he has to contend is that of actual cheating on the part of those with whom he gambles. Neptune in the sixth house. In the first instance, the sixth house refers to the servants of the native. In this category, one must include all people whose function is to serve, even if the social status and power are much greater than that of the native. For example, if we were to consider the case of a poor man employing a wealthy lawyer and a prominent physician, the character of the lawyer will be determined by the sixth house as far as relations with the client are concerned. As the first virtue of servants is steadiness, reliability, and freedom from any form of independent self-will or initiative, it will follow that Neptune is very unfortunate in this connection. The servants of the native are likely to behave in a very erratic way. They may rob and cheat the master, though this will take, in all probability, a petty and sporadic form, but they are certain to be unpunctual, disobedient, forgetful, careless, and altogether unsatisfactory. It will be difficult to keep a servant in the house for any length of time. In regard to servants, in the larger sense of the word indicated above, the native is likely to find similar troubles. He may consult a doctor and discover later that the man is a quack or is suffering from some subtle form of insanity. If he consults a lawyer, he will probably get bad advice, be induced to enter into some litigation in which he has no chance of success, and find a large bill of costs run up against him into the bargain. Similar troubles will occur in every event of life where he is paying another person for service of whatever kind. It does not, however, apply to commercial transactions. If the native is an employer of labor, whether on a large or small scale, he will meet with every kind of obstacle. His workmen will strike, and he will be involved in all sorts of disputes. He may have to pay compensation for accidents, and that often unjustly. From what has been said, it might appear that these misfortunes are due to the character of the persons who serve, but it would not be right to draw such a conclusion. Every question has two sides to it, and in this case there is no doubt that the master is equally to blame. His methods with servants will not be wise. It is certain that he will lack firmness. He will slacken, capricious. The most important quality of a master is that the servant should know exactly what to expect. He should be patient, kind, courteous, and yet inexorable. He should be to the servant what the laws of nature are to humanity, and it is exactly in these points that any person who has Neptune in the sixth house will fail. The health of the native, although to some extent indicated by the ascendant in the position and aspects of the sun or the moon, or in the case of a woman, depends principally upon the sixth house. Persons born with Neptune in this position will probably suffer from many obscure maladies of the nerves. In fact, insidious and wasting diseases of all sorts are often associated with this configuration. There is likely to be a general weakness and irritability in the constitution, which may manifest itself in hysteria and similar complaints. These misfortunes are due to the character of the persons who serve, but painful and intractable, though not dangerous, disorders such as eczema and psoriasis may prove a continual torment. It is very important that the native should not fall into the habit of dosing himself. Of course, quack remedies are principally to be avoided, but there is some danger also that he may acquire a superficial and inaccurate knowledge of medicine. Medical books may fall into his hands, and he may read them with avidity and understanding them, however imperfectly, owing to his lack of a thorough training. He may then become his own physician. A good many of his own ailments will be imaginary, but whether this or so is not, he will try all sorts of medicaments. In his case, this will be exceptionally dangerous, for anyone with Neptune in the sixth house is peculiarly susceptible to poisoning. Bromism, iodism, plumism may follow the abuse. He may also acquire such a habit as that of arsenic eating. One must not, however, include narcotism, for if he acquired any of the ordinary drug habits, such as the abuse of morphia, cocaine, heroin, veronal, hashish, and the like, he will do not so because of any idiosyncrasy, not with the idea of gaining new experiences and extravagant pleasures, but because he hopes thereby to obtain relief from the ill health, real or imaginary, from which he is suffering. The sixth house also refers to small animals, especially domestic pets. The native is likely to have rather curious fancies in those matters. Instead of being contented with a dog, he will have a monkey. An ordinary parrot will not satisfy him. He will require some very peculiar species.